Hey, you guys, this is Rafael Eledge from Shiloh Relics.com in Savannah, Tennessee. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's a good one here in Tennessee. We're about to wrap up the year 2025, and I thought I would talk about something that I've actually wanted to for quite a while. It's something that is very important to every Civil War collector, and not just Civil War, but a lot of other wars as well. Something that a lot of people don't think about. I had a guy call the other day and he says, how do they stay in such nice shape? Some of the pieces. And I told him, I said, well, there's a few people that we have to thank for that, because after the Civil War was over, when the pieces got turned into the government, or the pieces that were finished right at the end of the war and never issued, they had to do something with them. And they were actually sold as surplus. Original Civil War stuff being sold as surplus items, Army, Navy stores, that kind of thing. And it's crazy to think about, they sold everything. There are a couple of the major ones, major firms that bought those pieces over the years. There was Stokes Kirk in Philadelphia, but the biggest and best known one was a company called Francis Bannerman and Sons. Now, Francis Bannerman was from Scotland. Actually, Francis Bannerman V is the one that really got things going. He actually served during the Civil War, but he was there in New York City, and he made money selling pieces that he found surplus from the Boston Navy Yard, and that's how he made some of his money. And they went into the potato business and were selling potatoes as well as military items. Evidently, the military items had a better future in them than the potatoes, so they ended up, his son, Francis Bannerman VI, bought tons and tons, literally tons and tons of military surplus from the government. They bought everything. They bought from uniform buttons to cartridge boxes, to insignia, to full uniforms, to rifles, to pistols, to swords, to everything you can possibly imagine. And it took off. And they had a office that, the smaller one, and then they moved to the main one, which is this place. They moved there in 1905. They bought it from the Metropolitan Museum of Art on 501 Broadway in New York City. That was the office. And as business grew and business grew, they needed somewhere else to store and keep all the things. So a few years earlier, Francis Bannerman VI had a vision. He was on the Hudson River and he saw this place called Polypel Island, later become known as Bannerman Island. He bought that island for $1,600. And that $1,600 was well spent, because he made it his own. He absolutely turned it into something special. Check this out. He built a castle, Bannerman's Castle, on what would become known as Bannerman's Island. And it's such a neat place. And when I heard the stories and I saw the images, I was like, holy cow. Not only did he have all of his stuff, he had the place to keep it in, because he built a yard for the cannons like this. They say he had so much surplus that he actually used, and this, I can't verify this, but I've always heard it, that he used rifle barrels for the rebar in the floors. And the place had pizzazz. Check that place out. It's unbelievable. And there is a great book that came out a few years ago. It's Images in America, Bannerman Castle. If you get a chance, it's this book here. You need to get it, because it's a cool read. It tells about the Bannerman family and how the place is actually in a trust right now, because it's going to be preserved. He sold relics for a century. And they were so popular, they made catalogs. And the catalogs, this is an original one. Oh, no, this is an original one. But they've actually were so popular over the years that they reprinted them. These two are actually reprints of the catalogs. This one's a copy of the 1903 catalog. This one's 1927. And this is an original 1955. Yes. And so it's And it's cool to see the progression of the collecting over the years. It's the same stuff that they had in piles, but as the years went, they raised the prices and raised the prices just to keep things going. And I'm going to show you a couple of those things to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But I've got a few of the pieces that we can't say for sure, but are probably still here because of Bannerman and the Bannerman family. But a couple of the catalogs, I marked a few things. This one, let's see what we got first. I don't even remember what we did. Oh, it's an original. When you open the catalog up, it has an original Civil War cartridge box. It says they had 36,000 of them, and they were selling them for 30 cents each. An original cartridge box for 30 cents. Let's see what the next one is. This one is for, oh, this is neat. In the late 50s, early 60s, right there, they were in Bermuda and they found several cases, not boxes, cases of original CSA coat buttons like this. And every once in a while, I'll get a call, somebody will have one of those original sheets that had 24 of the cards on it. These buttons in 1927, they found them way before then, but they found some more later. They sold them for 20 cents each, or $2 for a dozen. How about that? How cool is that? Original CSAs that just never made it through the naval blockade. And this one, some of the original hat cords that go around an officer's hat or an enlisted Hardee style hat. Original bundles of hat cords. And they were also 20 cents a piece, or $2 for a dozen. The CSA buttons, for the record, would have been a better investment than the hat cords, but they still did pretty well over the years. And one of my favorite things in the book, this. When you look at that, original 12-pound Napoleon cannons on carriage. And they go forward from like 1903, they were $275. In this one, 1927, they were $1,000. So it's kind of cool to see the progression of how those things went. Let's check out the early one. I think I have one piece marked in here. I had fun this morning just looking through them, getting a little bit of the history. Yep, that's the, 1903 was $275, not $175, sorry. So let's go here to the 1955 catalog. And, oh, this one is neat. Check this out. The infantry Civil War hat pins are hunting horns like this. They had cases. I actually got to see, when I first got into it in the 90s, my friends Bill and Tim up at the picket post in Fredericksburg had an original case full of these hat cords that had come from Bannerman's. And these are 25 cents each was what they were in 1955. So inflation had already hit them. They were probably a dime or 15 cents back in the day. But as inflation goes, so goes the price. So this is really neat. If you get a chance, study more on the Bannerman Island and the Bannerman effect, because they affected everything for Civil War collectors. We owe them a lot of gratitude. But if you go into ShilohRelics.com and you see things that, it's like, he had one of those the other day. Sometimes I get a chance to buy a group of original Civil War CSA coat buttons. I buy them all just because I love them and it's neat and you can tie them into the history of those. So if you get a chance, go on there and check some of them out. There's some neat things on there right now. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a great day getting to share these with you. I hope you know what you mean to me. Hope you have our best New Year ever. And thank you so much for your support over the years. If you enjoyed that little bit of history, you are going to love what you're going to find on the Shiloh Relics YouTube channel. Be sure to check them out. If you enjoy them, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, guys.